It's a beautiful fall day here in Ketchikan, and when the weather's nice, you have to go outside, and that's why we're here today at Point Higgins School. We're standing in the parking lot, which isn't where you'd really think of hiking starting, but actually it's perfect access to one of the most beautiful trails in town. And I'm here today with my friend Erin. Erin, why did you want to go hiking Coast Guard Trail?
It is one of the first trails that I went on when I first moved to Ketchikan last year, so it just kind of holds a special place in my heart. Also, some great sea glass once you get down to the beach. And when I first moved here, I was unaware of how to deal with black bears on the trail, and this is a notoriously pretty bear-free area, so it felt pretty safe to come here.
Yeah, for when I first moved to Ketchikan, I really haven't lived anywhere with black bears, brown bears, polar bears, any bears.
Yeah.
And so I think when I go hiking, I'm always a little bit nervous about what to do because I haven't had that interaction with a bear on a trail. But what preventative measures are you taking to make sure that, black bears know you're coming and aren't surprised?
Yeah, so a year later, I've now learned a couple of tips and tricks. One, hike in groups if you can, which sometimes works really well. You're just making a lot of noise anyway. And then if you can't hike with other people, being just really bear aware. Like, do you see anything on the trail? Do you see anything off the trail? Are you making enough noise on your own that you're going to let the bear know that you're coming up upon them? And then there's always bear bells and bear spray that you can use too if necessary.
Yeah, and we brought some bear spray. I don't think we're going to have to use it, but just in case, you can buy this in town. We bought ours together.
We did, yeah.
We both still haven't used ours,
Correct.
Which I think is a pretty good sign.
Yeah.
Or maybe a sign we need to go hiking more.
I think we just make really good choices about not finding bears on the trail. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's head out.
Let's do it.
The kids are so lucky to have their school right next to this trail.
Oh man, I know.
I can't imagine having that access.
Right? I think they do gym classes where they hike down to the beach and hang out there.
Wow.
But also think of like the science classes you can do with it.
Yeah.
Like the tides and coastal changes.
Also just like community service of keeping the trail clear.
I know. And it's just beautiful, so.
Yeah. Probably some ecology classes as well.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice for the kids who, their school is right here.
Yeah, I think they do gym classes where they will walk down to the beach and just kind of hang out and watch the tides come in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Also, I feel like there are just so many opportunities for like studying the nature around you and ecology, maybe even some foraging or learning about birds. And in addition to just getting out and experiencing the nature, I feel like there's so much to learn. It's like another classroom.
Absolutely.
As a teacher, what sort of things, how would you incorporate this into teaching?
So as an English teacher, I love doing like outdoor writing time and outdoor reading time. So if I were out here, I think we would be using this space out here. It's just like an observational writing space where you can, write what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're feeling, what you're hearing, and then be able to use that in creative writing. Then also some really fun nonfiction, like place writing.
Yeah, I bet it could be incorporated into like what they're reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too.
And it's also because, I think they come out and help kind of upkeep the trail a little bit, pick up trash, that sort of thing. So it's a great way to integrate a little bit into the community.
Yeah. And I know for like beach day, I think this is one of the beaches that the kids get to come to.
Oh man, beach day is one of the greatest days, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's one of the days I wish that I taught elementary school. Most days I love my high schoolers, don't get me wrong, but beach day, I would love to be a third grade teacher.
Beach day in Alaska also just seems much better than beach day on the East Coast.
Yeah, see, I did not have a beach day on the East Coast. I lived in a pretty landlocked state.
Yeah, but living on a coastal state, I mean, you just went to the beach and it was sandy.
Yeah,
and like
it's
that's
not sandy
it.
here.
I feel like beach day here, there's a lot more interesting things to look at and explore.
For sure. So it is super shady right here, but when we walk like, I don't know, 5 more feet, we're gonna hit some sun patches, which is probably one of my favorite parts of this trail, is watching the sun come through the trees. So it's just never the same.
I know that you like taking pictures. Have you brought your camera out here to photograph?
I have. I am not very good at taking pictures, or rather at editing them to make them look really good. But yeah, again, the lighting is just amazing. So the pictures are always pretty wonderful. And I like when we get a little further on the trail, it really turns into like this wooded kind of fairyland, which is just one of my favorite parts of Southeast.
There's a lot of moss.
There's so much moss and so many ferns. It's lovely.
Yeah, and it stays pretty green year round. I guess being a rainforest.
That helps. But if you go in later fall, I did this trail in November with a friend from Palmer, and everything was starting to turn red and orange. So there was, you know, some fall colors.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent of where we grew up.
A little bit, yeah. Not quite maple leaves, but you know what? I'll take these fall colors too.
I'm just impressed with the level of like trail maintenance that goes into maintaining trails in Southeast, because things grow so quickly here, and so it's a lot of work to keep the trails clean. But
yeah, and everything is so wet all the time that I would be worried about like rotting and you know, the wood kind of breaking apart. But no,
yeah,
it's just really well maintained.
It's nice though. We've had maybe a week of good sunny weather, so it's nice. The trail is not muddy. You know, we are wearing just like tennis shoes, or at least I am.
Same.
With COVID, I know that I found myself going outdoors a lot more because it's an easy way to interact with friends safely and get some physical exercise. What about you, Erin? Have you found yourself outdoors more?
Yeah, definitely. And also really since moving to Ketchikan, because there are great trails and because there are a lot of people who are kind of like-minded and want to get outside as well. So it's often just piling on the rain gear and going out. Are there specific activities that you often find yourself doing outside?
I mean, a lot of walking.
Yeah.
I live in a place that's like pretty walkable to get around. Not as close to as many trails as I would like, but closer to daily life things.
Yeah.
Some roller skating, tennis. Something I really miss is playing basketball. So I wish, you know, there was a like outdoor basketball league or something like that. I think it's one of the things that's really hard for me is when it starts getting really rainy, it's harder to want to go outside because you just get wet.
That's true. And I definitely thought when I moved here that the winters would be pretty hard because of the amount of rain. But I've actually found that I just enjoy it a lot. And I do like getting outside in the rain.
You can really feel the temperature dropping as we're getting closer to the ocean.
Yeah, you definitely can.
It's kind of nice because I feel like at the beginning of the hike, you're not yet warm. But as it goes along, I know I get really sweaty, but it's actually keeping me from breaking a sweat.
And speaking of the trail being a little bit damp, we just passed a pretty significant mud pit there. But there were logs or pieces of wood across it.
Yeah,
so.
Not so big that our feet got muddy. Like
That's
we didn't
true.
have to even jump.
That's true.
This looks like a hobbit's home,
I know.
but maybe disguised.
Okay,
What
read
is
this on
it?
the road
What
trip.
is
I think
burled?
it's, well, like they're just like knots of
Bent?
branches that look like a bunch of fingers coming out of the tree.
Yeah.
And we call them witches' knots. I don't know if that is the same in Southeast, but in Vermont they're witch's nuts.
Huh.
Or sometimes witch's hair, which is kind of cool.
Do they have to have moss hanging down on them to
They
be
do
considered
not.
hair?
No, because we don't have moss like this in Vermont.
Right.
There's none of it. There's not enough moisture.
Huh.
Yeah.
Erin,
That's definitely bear poop. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
it looks pretty fresh.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Ish.
I mean, look at how mushy that is.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in a group. We're gonna just be talking a little bit more, making a little bit more noise. It'll be fine.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Hi, bear.
Hey, bear, hey.
Keep talking. Hey, bear.
Hey, bear.
Hey, bear. How many languages can you do hey, bear in?
One. Wait, maybe bonjour, Lorcine. I don't know. Someone who speaks French is gonna come for me now. My accent is terrible.
We should probably learn some more.
Probably. The bears might be bilingual.
Do you think it's about the noise, or do you think bears, kind of like dogs, have been kind of conditioned to know, like, oh, they're talking about us?
You know, at Tongass, when I bought my bear bell, they told me the bears have been conditioned to the bear bell sound. So maybe they have been conditioned to the hey bear hey.
That's like Pavlov, you know, the salivating.
They start to drool when they hear it and know that their snacks are coming.
Well, I guess it's good you didn't bring it.
That's true.
We got a nice view to the right.
We really do. It's gorgeous.
I got a berry.
Such a great view when you come down.
It's so beautiful. So I can hear the waves, I think, and I see the beach. We're almost there.
I think we're pretty close.
Nice.
And it looks like the tide might be right for some sea glass finds.
Yeah, but you know, very exclusive sea glass. But I guess the positive is it's all the freshest sea glass washing up.
That's true. Did you want to ride on the swing? I'll give you a push.
If you really want to push me on the swing, you can push me on the swing.
Ready?
Sure. That's it? You're not gonna give me a double under? Okay. Oh my gosh. This is fun.
Jump off! Jump off!
Don't think that's a good idea. No, I'm just spinning.
This view is just amazing.
It's stunning. And one of my favorite things about this beach is looking for sea glass.
I know.
Even though feels pretty far out,
I feel like we'll get some.
there's pretty good glass. So we made it to the end of the beach.
We did.
The trail's pretty much all downhill, which is really nice.
All uphill on the way back.
Let's savor this moment.
Just relax for a minute.
One of my favorite parts about this hike is not just the beach, but there's also a beach swing.
Yes. Yeah. It is super fun to push people on, and you get some pretty great air.
Yeah. Well, the best part is when you bring somebody with you who will push
Who
you.
can push you? Yeah.
Because
for sure.
I did none of the work and
That's
I
true.
got the ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
fast out
also, yeah. But then we immediately went looking for sea glass, which
Yes. and got a bunch.
Yeah, you did really well.
Thank you, thank you. We got teal, we got some pale green, some dark green, a lot of brown glass, but that's to be expected.
Some driftwood.
Some driftwood.
I'm just amazed at how much sea glass we can find at this beach, even though it's, you know, relatively far away from town.
Absolutely. And it doesn't seem to matter when you go for the tides, like there will always be sea glass. Sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller pieces.
Yeah. And we also found something pretty special that I've never seen before.
Some squid.
Dead squid.
Yeah, dead squid. 2 tiny dead squid.
Yeah, like little finger length dead squid.
There's also a starfish. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see the little starfish, but I feel like for me the squid was a little bit more exciting because I see starfish a lot and I do not see squid all the time. The last time I saw a squid washed up on the beach was in Alaska, and it was a massive squid. It was like 8 feet long, and there's this guy who laid out next to it, like stretching out and very happy.
Ours were so tiny in comparison.
Yeah, you know, not the same. It was like nose sized.
Yeah.
So let's just recap the trail. Can you tell me a little bit about it and who is it for?
So it is a, I don't know, I'd say like moderately accessible trail. There are routes you have to go over and some stairs you have to navigate. So kind of keep that in mind. It is also pretty damp. We've had 5 days of beautiful sunshine here and there were still spots covered in mud and water. So kind of keep that in mind. Rubber boots might be your best choice.
And if it's really rainy, probably don't go on this trail.
It could get pretty slick, I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah. And how long do you think it was, and how long did it take us?
Yeah, I think it's about 1.5 miles out and back, and I would say plan for 40-ish minutes. Maybe you're super fast and it takes you 30. Maybe you are taking a nice leisurely stroll and picking all the huckleberries and it takes 45 or 50. But 40 minutes one way seems like a pretty safe bet.
And the all-important question, did we see any bears?
We did not. We saw evidence of bears, but no bears themselves.
Yeah, so I feel like, you know, good opportunity for us to dip our toes in and
start to get
practice
prepared.
Being prepared, but not have to use
Any of our
anything.
skills.
Well, we did. We said, hey, bear.
That's true.
And we were aware and we made noise.
Followed the rules.
So, well, thanks so much for taking me on this hike, Erin.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I can't wait to see where you take me next.
Let's find out.